Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and bring you crucial knowledge fast.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're tackling a really difficult subject, but an important one. We're doing a deep dive into the tragic crash of Air India flight AI-171.
That was the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, happened June 12th, just last week.
Exactly. And our mission here, for you listening, is to sort of pull apart what we know so far from the sources, the facts, the immediate aftermath, and the big questions emerging from the investigation.
It's definitely a story that needs unpacking with potentially wide-ranging lessons.
Okay, so let's start with the flight itself, the unfolding tragedy. AI-171 left Ahmedabad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport.
Right, heading for London Gatwick.
It had 242 people on board. There's 230 passengers, 12 crew.
A full flight, pretty much.
Yeah. And then the absolutely shocking part, just 5 minutes after takeoff, around 1:38 p.m. local time.
It just started losing altitude rapidly.
It never got high, did it? Reports say it only reached about, 650 feet?
Barely climbed out, and then it crashed.
Crashed right into a densely populated area, the BJ Medical College Hostel in Nagar.
Which is only about 3 kilometers from the airport boundary.
Yeah.
Very close.
The human cost. It's just staggering.
It really is. Tragically, 241 of the 242 people on the plane died.
Almost everyone.
And because of where it crashed, the tragedy compounded. Over 30 people on the ground, including medical students in that hostel, were also killed.
Oh, wow.
So initial reports are putting the total death toll somewhere around 274 people.
Just devastating. Is it true there was one survivor from the flight?
Yes, remarkably, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, a British national, he was apparently seated in 11A.
And he survived with minor injuries from that.
Escaped with minor physical injuries, yes. But reports say he's obviously deeply traumatized. He lost his brother on the same flight.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, and he's expressed, profound survivor's remorse you can only imagine.
Absolutely unimaginable. And the response on the ground must have been immediate and huge.
It had to be. Ahmedabad's municipal and rescue teams mobilized incredibly fast. We're talking over 300 firefighters.
Wow.
.150 municipal vehicles, plus the CRPF, the NDRF teams. Even the Indian Army got involved in the rescue and recovery.
And local hospitals.
Completely overwhelmed. Civil hospital, others nearby, just grappling with a mass casualty event on an immense scale.
And amidst all that chaos, the search for answers begins almost immediately, right? The investigation.
Exactly. That's the crucial next step. They recovered the black box, the flight data recorder, and cockpit voice recorder quite quickly.
That's good news for the investigation, at least.
It's vital. India's AAIB, the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, is leading it. They're working closely with the U.S. NTSB and FAA, plus Boeing and GE, the engine manufacturer.
And are there any early clues, anything pointing towards a cause yet?
There is one critical initial finding. The Ram air turbine, the RAT, was deployed.
Okay, what does that signify?
Well, the RAT is basically a small emergency propeller turbine that drops down to provide essential power if the main engines and backup power fail.
So its deployment suggests a major failure before the crash.
Precisely. It strongly indicates a potential loss of engine power, or maybe a severe hydraulic failure occurred before impact. It's a huge clue.
Which must be focusing the investigation somewhat.
Definitely. They're looking very closely at the maintenance records now, particularly for the right engine. It had apparently been overhauled just 3 months before the crash.
3 months, that's recent.
Very. And based on this, the DGCA, India's aviation authority, has grounded all of Air India's Boeing 787s for inspection as a precaution.
A necessary step, I suppose. Thinking about the families, the identification process must be incredibly difficult.
Painstaking is the word. Police have recovered 162 DNA profiles, which is remarkable work, and 120 bodies have been returned so far. But it's ongoing.
And beyond the immediate human tragedy, this raises wider questions, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. This crash starkly highlights the risks of, urban development encroaching so close to airport flight paths.
The proximity you mentioned earlier.
Yes. It raises serious questions about enforcing safety zones and standards when cities expand right up to airport boundaries.
What about support for the victims' families?
The Tata Group, Air India's parent company, announced significant support €1 crore compensation per family, covering medical expenses too.
That's substantial.
And Air India itself provided interim compensation of 25 lakh, and they're helping with things like repatriation, counseling, all essential support.
And the disruption to travel must be considerable with the 787 grounding.
Oh, definitely. Reports mention 83 wide-body flights delayed or canceled initially. Air India's schedules are expected to be cut by about 15% into mid-July because of the inspections.
And historically,
Yeah.
this is significant for the Dreamliner, isn't it?
It is. This is, tragically, the first fatal crash involving the Boeing 787 Dreamliner since it entered service.
Really? The very first?
Yes. Which makes this not only one of India's worst aviation disasters in recent memory, but also a major event in global aviation safety history.
A truly sobering thought.
So, to sum up, it's a deeply tragic event with complex factors. We have potential mechanical failure indications, the devastating impact in an urban area, and now a major investigation underway with significant industry consequences.
And for you listening, perhaps the takeaway thought is this. Beyond the vital technical investigation into what failed on AI-171, what does this awful event force us to reconsider about the balance we strike? That constant tension between urban growth and the absolute necessity of aviation safety standards. It's a question with implications far beyond this one incident.